Hey guys, what's up? Sermo11 here with my opinion on the Nintendo Switch Partner Showcase that occurred today. Now, I saw a lot of few people kind of complaining about this event. I personally don't get it. I enjoyed it. I thought there were a lot of good announcements and a lot of stuff I wanted on the Nintendo Switch 2. But apparently, if you predict something, that means you are not allowed to be excited because you were right. You think I'm joking, but there are videos like that out there. The event started off with Orbitals, which I believe was shown in a previous Nintendo Direct. It kind of reminds me of those two-player games that are only co-op gameplay. I know there are two of them on Switch and they're on other consoles and everything. I've never played those. I have no interest in games that require another person, especially because I think these games have to be played in person. I don't think you can play them over the internet, but I could be wrong. So I thought originally Orbitals was just going to be in a ship, but it does show the characters kind of walking around a 3D environment and solving puzzles and things like that. I thought that was interesting. I just wish it was single player. I think that it looks pretty good. I really like the anime art style, like the older anime art style that they're going for. I'm sure the cutscenes, the animated cutscenes are going to look beautiful, but I just don't want to play a game that requires me playing with someone else. You can play online with friends, but I don't know. I think something like that, I just don't really want to do. But if it goes on sale and I know someone that's playing it, maybe we could play it, but I'm just not super interested in doing that. Next up was Paranormasight. I hope I'm saying that properly. I've never played this game. This is kind of one of those games that I was looking into. I didn't know if I wanted it or not, because as far as visual novels go, I like Phoenix Wright. I like the 999 Zero Escape series. I like those. I don't play that many visual novels. You know, I'm interested in Danganronpa. I'm interested in the the Nintendo one that they have. It's not Emio, it's Famicom Detective Club. I'm interested in those, but I'm not super into visual novels. It's kind of like here and there, but the main one is definitely Phoenix Wright for me, but it's like here and there. I don't mind trying one. I know the first one is on Switch. It's also very cheap right now if you're interested in it. I think another thing, which is kind of like the horror aspect of it, I'm not into like scary games. I'm not looking to get scared. You know, some people, they want to be scared, you know, like they might play like a zombies mode of a video game with the lights off, or they might, you know, oh, it's Halloween, I gotta watch a scary movie, you know, and I always get freaked out, but I have such a fun time or something. Not that kind of person. I would be interested in trying this, but I would like a demo first. I don't know if I like the diving portions of the game. I don't know that much about it, but I don't know if I really want to do all that in a visual novel. Kind of seems like we're getting a little away from like the regular visual novel game, which I guess is just gameplay, which is kind of just like point and click. But you know, that might be a benefit having more variety. Captain Tsubasa was shown off. I've never watched this anime, and that's all I have to say on that. They went into Switch 2 exclusive titles after this, and I'm just scrolling down the list. Most of this stuff I'm not interested in. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. I like the Square Enix, 2.5D games. It's just kind of like I haven't fully played any of them. I played some of the demos. These games are very long. I believe Octopath Traveler is super long. Triangle Strategy is super long. So they keep putting out these super long games. I might play like one or two. Like, I'm interested in Triangle Strategy, and I'm interested in this one. I like the whole like time traveling aspect. It kind of reminds me of Chrono Trigger, and I want to try the demo at some point. The game looks good. It looks good. You know, these games are interesting, and usually they're fully or mostly voiced, so that's another benefit. Bomberman, not really interested in that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I've never played Final Fantasy, but obviously I know some of the plot because people put spoilers everywhere, and it's like, oh, it's a 20-year-old game. Let me just start off with the spoiler, because, you know, people think that's funny. They think that's funny. But, I will try the demo for this one. I've never played the Final Fantasy VII remakes. I know they weren't super well received because they took portions of the game and made them into full games, and then there's 3 parts, and I guess this is the second one, Rebirth, which has a huge like open world and everything. Some people just wanted the game in one package. I don't know, but I'm interested in trying this, and I've also heard they take aspects from other Final Fantasy VII games and put them into this one, so that's cool. As I said before, I won't be covering every single game on here, so if you're interested in something that I didn't talk about, please tell me in the comments. So next up is Kyoto Xanadu. I've never played this series. Apparently this series is pretty old. Tokyo Xanadu is on my radar. I'm just kind of waiting for it to go on sale. This is by Falcom, who does the Trials games, the Trials series that is, I think it's like 12 or 13 games now, and they're all like connected. And I believe Trails, I said Trails, I think I said Trials. Trails is, I think it's like a side series of something. So that's even crazier. But, Kyoto Xanadu looked alright. I'm not super into like platforming games, as I've learned. It's like, I'm into Kirby, and that's it. So I would have to see how the platforming is, but there also are 3D aspects where you're fighting monsters and stuff like that. It is an interesting mix of gameplay. I'm guessing most of the game will be 2D with 3D battles, with maybe like bosses and stuff like that. But I thought it looked good. Moving on to the anime games, I don't know why there was an anime category and some of the RPGs were not in the anime category. That seemed kind of strange to me. Like, what is considered anime here? Because Kyoto Xanadu is not in the anime category, but Digimon is in the anime category. Digimon's also a video game series. Anyways, Digimon Story Time Stranger is coming to Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. Now this is weird. Maybe they wanted to launch them at the same time. If they had a Switch version, I don't know why it couldn't have come out before, but I think it might have, you know, kind of came into sales for the Nintendo Switch 2 version, because if you can get it on Switch, why would you announce the Switch 2 version later, and why would you wait to get the Switch 2 version if you can get the Switch version now? So that might be why. I played the demo for this. I really liked it. I don't really like the whole like Digimon versus Pokemon discourse that's going on online. I kind of want to talk about that one day. I like both. I've heard the Digimon games are really good. I really enjoyed my time with this demo. It's fun. There's a lot of Digimon. It looks good. I'm hoping to get it. These games normally go on sale, so if you don't have a lot of money like me, it might go on sale at some point for like $24 or $25. If you wait a few years, it'll definitely be that or cheaper. I believe you could have gotten both of the 2 of the Digimon Story games for like $5 or $10 one time. There was a sale on the eShop or something, so they definitely go pretty cheap. So, you know, if you don't have a lot of money, just wait. A lot of Bandai Namco games eventually go on sale. So just keep that in mind if you are strapped for cash. So, moving on to Granblue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok. Now, I don't know that much about this game. I know Granblue Fantasy is a big mobile game. There's also a website version. They made a 3D game. There's also a fighting game. So I guess if this does well, maybe we'll get the fighting game, or that's already in works for Switch 2. This is just kind of one of those games where it's like, why isn't this on Nintendo Switch? You know, that was kind of my thought process. You know, we get like the RPGs, we get some of the anime games. Why isn't this on Switch? And here it is. I thought this was a single player game, but I saw people talking about like multiplayer. So I don't know if there are multiplayer elements and that's part of it. And maybe you can also play like single player or play like with computer players or something, which is what I would prefer to do rather than playing this with someone else. But yeah, I mean, it looks good. There's a lot of different characters. They're adding more characters, and considering they changed the name, I'm guessing there's maybe some sort of new campaign or something being added for the Nintendo Switch 2 version. I hope to see the fighting game of Granblue Fantasy, and it's just cool that we're getting this game. I hope to see more RPGs, more anime games. Like, I want the Naruto game where you make your own shinobi and everything, Shinobi Striker. Like, I want that. There's the Trials. Yeah, Trials. I think that's the or is it Trails? The one that's by like Square Enix. It's like Trials of Mana or something. They made a new one. I want that on Switch too, or Switch. I don't know why it's not there already. I don't think it did amazing. That doesn't really matter. You know, just put it on all the systems. I'm sure it'll do better than it did on the other systems. It'll do better on Switch. So just put it there. Next up, Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. I'm surprised I didn't watch a discussion where... I've watched 2 discussions, and I'm surprised I haven't seen one where they're just like complaining that, man, Monster Hunter is showing up too much, because for some reason, like, content creators do that. They'll be like, wow, they're promoting this. They're promoting a game. They're promoting it like 3 times. That's too much promotion. Like Deadlock, I think that's the name. It was on PlayStation, or Deadloop or something. It was like on PlayStation or Xbox, and it was in a lot of their events, and some people thought like it was being promoted too much, and I thought that was just kind of like dumb, you know. I don't really understand some of the reactions to these events, because like, if you're a company, you want the game on as many eyes as possible. So, you know. But anyways, this game looks good. We've already seen it multiple times. Definitely interested in it. I just had to play the first and second story games first. I really like the demo for the second game. I didn't really like the demo for the first game. But who knows? This one looks like it's going to be a lot bigger in scale compared to the other ones. Maybe a little bit more open world. So definitely excited to check it out. So now we have the tribute games and third-party drops. This is kind of like the sizzle reel for the Direct. They showed off the Scott Pilgrim game. This is, I think, just like an expansion of the original Scott Pilgrim game. I actually own the original one. I didn't really like it. One of my friends suggested it. I like Scott Pilgrim. I've read most of this series. I think I just have to read like the last 2 volumes. I definitely like Scott Pilgrim. I just not really into like beat 'em ups. I think the only beat 'em up recently that I've liked is River City Girls, and that's a really good game. But otherwise, I'm not too into the genre, and I would not get the game. Really, there's nothing in this sizzle reel besides 2 things that I was interested in. Another Eden Begins. This is... I saw someone saying like it was a mobile game and it's being turned into like a full, you know, like console game and stuff like that. I think that a lot of mobile games should do this. I wish Tribe 9 did this. You know, like, we had like Danganronpa people behind Tribe 9, but it just shut down and that was the end of it. They might release like a novel or something or a script to show like the rest of the story. It seems like some of these mobile games might do better as console releases, you know, instead of just like mobile games and stuff like that. I'm not complaining about mobile games. I like mobile games. I get tired of people complaining about mobile games and like every discussion or something. It's like, oh, I don't play mobile games, you know, like, oh, it was a mobile game, I can't play it. But like suddenly when something's on a console, it'll be like, oh, this looks pretty cool, you know. So yeah, so that was one thing, and the other thing was Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn edition. So Tales of Arise was one of the games that I was like, why isn't this on Switch? Well, here it is. It's on Switch too. At this point, we're caught up almost on the Tales, like modern sort of games. I think we need Tales of Exilia, or however you say it. We need the second one, and Berseria is coming, and then there's one it's like Zisteria or something, that one. And then I think after that they've put most of the modern ones on Switch, and then we'll see where they go from there. I believe there's like PSP or PS Vita games, and then there's like older Tales games that they could remake. Some of them are like 2D, so I imagine they might remake them in like 3D or something. I don't know. But that would be cool. I'm just excited to try the game. Hopefully there's a demo. I don't know if they said there's a demo or not. If there's a demo, I'd like to try the demo. I know there's a demo on other systems. So, and for me, that's the end of the Direct. I know Bethesda announced some other games and stuff like that. I'm not interested in any of that. But I will say the Fallout TV show is good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And now I'll just kind of be talking about like some reactions to the Direct and everything. I definitely saw, I watched 2 channels. I only watch a few gaming channels. I don't watch a lot. And some of the ones I watch, it's like, I kind of want to unsubscribe just because like, sometimes it's just like a lot of negative energy, you know, like sometimes, and I don't mean this like towards like other content creators, but it's like also just like people in comments and stuff like that, like complaining about just everything. It's like, if you don't like it, just don't buy it, you know, like, and like they don't buy it in the first place, but like you complaining and being upset is not going to hurt this game, you know, like you were just one person, you were just 2 people, you know, like it's not like a huge brigade of people, you know, like, and you're allowed to give your opinion, but just sometimes when it's just like overly negative, it can be kind of annoying. So I watched some channels that were kind of like, you know, so on the Direct, and it was kind of like one of the reasons they gave was like because they predicted some of the games that were coming, and then also just because they predicted some of the games that were coming, and then also there just wasn't like a big game for them. And I just find like some of the criticism to be just kind of odd, you know, like, yeah, these are marketing events, so, you know, I saw some judgment on like how the events are presented, you know, like you're saying like there's not a big game. Why does that matter to you as a consumer? Why does it matter if they end on something that's big? It doesn't have to end on something that's big. What matters is whether or not you want to purchase something from this. And, you know, you could say like, oh, I'm not interested in buying anything. That's completely fine. But the fact that people are just kind of like almost complaining about like the structure, you know, like as if like they work at the company, you know, I just find that kind of odd. I've seen people say like, you know, like these games are available on other consoles. I think that's fine criticism, but you also have to think about like Nintendo hasn't gotten games that other consoles have gotten. You know, like I think I might have tried to like go back and just see like what's missing. You know, like Nintendo's probably missing games from like way back from like the PS3, the PS4, you know. They need to play catch up, and I don't see a problem with them getting older games, because like this is what I thought. People wanted a more powerful Nintendo Switch. They got that. The Nintendo Switch 2, it's more powerful. It's around what, PS4 or above PS4 level in terms of like the power, the graphics and all that. And then so I would think that you want a more powerful system to get games that the system did not get before, the company that did not get before. And now we're starting to see that, yet people don't like that. You know, it just kind of like, it's kind of like a head scratcher. It's kind of like, you know, like seeing like the negative reactions is almost like, okay, so there's a few things. It's like, okay, there's a lot of RPGs. Maybe you don't like RPGs. Also, like a side note, I saw someone complaining like, oh, there's 2 soccer games. It's like that weird, like dumb argument where like, it was like 2 or 3 years ago where they showed a bunch of like farming games. It was like 3, but like a lot of people were like, oh, it's a bunch of farming games. If you're not interested, who cares? Like, I don't see the problem. Like, if they do like a regular Nintendo Direct and there's a bunch of Mario games, if I say like, man, there's 3 Mario games, what are they doing? There's 3 Zelda games. Like, people, that's just like a complaint that wouldn't happen. You know, that's what I just find, like, it doesn't matter. It really just doesn't matter, you know. If you're not into it, you're not into it. You know, I just don't see like the point of like just complaining about like every single thing. But anyways, you know, like, so we're getting more games. So you either don't like RPGs because there's a lot of RPGs, or you only want like Mario and Zelda, because there's a lot of people out there, some content creators, just only like, they only see if they like Nintendo like first party. And it's not even all first party. It'd be like Mario, Zelda, and then like after that, they just have like nothing to discuss. I've watched people that seem like disinterested in watching the directs. You know, I've watched people, they just start complaining and stuff like that. I don't understand what people want. So, like if they ended it off with like Grand Theft Auto 5, they'd be like freaking out, like, "Oh, this is the best direct ever." It's just weird. It's a weird place. But yeah, at the end of the day, people are allowed to have their own opinions. It's just it's a little strange to me. It's a little strange to me. And like some people were saying, like, "Oh, this is one of the worst directs out there." There have definitely been worse directs. I remember directs that I watched where I was like, I don't really like any of this, or like that wasn't good. At least like this had a lot of stuff going on. Maybe these people have played these games before. I doubt it. I think they're just complaining because they're ports. But there's nothing wrong with ports. I saw people having like these big predictions, like Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. I think Kingdom Hearts is more like a main series direct thing, and really some of the I don't know if Nintendo actually like judges things like on that sort of basis, but sometimes some of the bigger announcements are in the big directs, like Silk Song. That's technically an indie game, isn't it? So that would be like in the indie direct, or that would be in the partner showcase, But it was in the main direct. So, like things like Tales of Arise, or what else is on here? Monster Hunter, Granblue Fantasy, Digimon. Like, you would think some of these would be in the main series direct, but they're not. Final Fantasy VII, so who knows if there's a main direct coming soon or not. That could be part of it. But, yeah, I mean, I just want to talk about like some of the reaction I've seen out there. I just don't really get it. A lot of people think like they don't have a reason to have a Nintendo Switch 2. I think there are plenty of reasons to have a Nintendo Switch 2. But another thing that's come up is just kind of like people acting like they need constant games to play on their Switch 2. It just doesn't make sense to me. Some of these people have backlogs of like 50 or like maybe 100 games. Like they play like 5 minutes of a game or an hour of a game, and then they just move on. It's like, oh, I'm disinterested. It's like, you have all these games. I just don't understand the mindset of like moving on. Like some people like so casual about what they play. Like I'm playing a game currently. I only switch games to play Pokemon, and then I came back to that game. Like I usually only play one game at once per system, so I have that game, and then I have a game I'm playing on my 3DS from time to time, and that's it. Other people, they open up every game they buy. I don't get that, because like you're not going to play all of them. So like I play one, then I play another. It's very simple, but that's crazy. You can't do that. I like to start games that like I don't know, something that just came out. Let's say like Final Fantasy VII. It just came out on Switch 2. Oh, I have to start it on there. I'll play it for an hour just to see what it's like. Why? You're in the middle of a game. You don't have to be involved with the online discussion. I just don't get why people are like so serious about that stuff. But anyways, what did you guys think about the Nintendo Direct? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Are you one of the people that I complained about? Did you take issue with the Direct? And tell me the issues that you had with the Direct. I personally enjoyed it. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you like my content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. The links are below. I'm Surma11. See you next time, and peace out.